Hello and welcome to CEC TV. We are coming to you from the heart of Baltimore for an exciting week at the Council for Exceptional Children's Annual Convention and Expo. CEC is where innovation meets impact, and CEC TV is your front row seat to it all. All week long, we'll be bringing you exclusive interviews with CEC leadership and top experts in the field, first-hand reactions from attendees, and thought leadership segments from leading institutes across the country, spotlighting the latest research, best practices, and the future of special education. You can catch CEC TV right here on screens throughout the convention and across social media, so be sure to follow along and share your thoughts and join the conversation. This week is all about collaboration, so let's learn from one another, connect, and take these insights back to our classrooms and communities. Stay tuned. CEC TV starts now.
Swift Education Center is focused on transformation of education in partnership with educators across the country. We work with state and local educators, district educators, school administrators to implement effective evidence-based practices within a framework to improve student outcomes. Our mission and our vision is rightful presence for each and every student, particularly with attention on students who have exceptionalities.
In the design of MTSS, I don't think I've ever worked with a state agency, with a district, or with a site that ever used anything other than the heuristic of MTSS in a tiered system that did not have all as part of its tier one. And we have to recognize that, even humbling when I was in a district, we said all, but it didn't include all. So MTSS affords us this opportunity to focus on a system, recognize how we capitalize on our teaming structures, and really lean into our grade level teams or departments or professional learning communities, whatever our main pieces around our general education teachers, and expand those teams for different conversations to be able to always be strengthening our system. I remember when I got involved with a multi-tiered system of support, and at the time, we didn't have research on the system, the MTSS as a system. We had research and evidence around particular practices that were part of what we would call MTSS, but now we have research behind the system of MTSS.
We use various research design where we can analyze academic outcomes, which includes state assessment scores or benchmark scores, and especially for students with disabilities, we also analyze the least restrictive educational environment. So we are interested in how students are moving to more inclusive education setting. So we plan to incorporate the qualitative research findings into quantitative research findings, and then see if we can understand the school change much better with the comprehensive analysis results. So we are doing lots of research work, and we are always excited about findings about it.
I think the best way for educators to promote equity and justice in the classroom is first and foremost to try to acknowledge and normalize the fact that there are both visible and invisible disabilities. If we can highlight our differences and highlight our commonalities in terms of the things that we struggle with, then we can sort of start to break apart some of the stigma around disability. I would hope educators also would feel brave enough to even bring that whole concept of finding our commonalities into even curriculum or into projects or things like that. Just make it part of what the classroom does, is that we find these bridges between each other and we look at them and we normalize them and we highlight them and we even talk about how they can make us stronger rather than diminish us in any way.
I had this great opportunity to lead a school. It was a dual language immersion school in a community that I really loved. And so it was a great opportunity. And it so happened that at that time, the University of Kansas Swift Center was doing work with Oregon. Dr. Miller came to work with our teams last year, and she said, adults need to stop trying to prove why something doesn't work, or to prove why students need to be in special education, but instead, we should be curious and wonder about what does work for them. And this was instrumental in the shift that we had, because now we all use that language, right? Nope, let's not prove about what doesn't work. Instead, let's see what we can find out what does work, so we can get the kiddo to, grow a little bit more or reach a different level of success and hopefully, reach proficiency in a certain area that they're working on.
The time has come for us to do more. And it's time to move towards a deeper understanding of what it means to be a child with an exceptionality, to be a dynamic learner, and to be present within a school community and not have that be questioned. I guess it's not anymore about how do we change the students so that they can belong, but how do we change the environment so it's available and ready for each and every student that walks through that door. That's my big takeaway, my big hope.
If you're an educational professional in special education, whether you're a teacher, coordinator in higher ed, a director, CEC is the de facto organization to join. There are so many members across the entire United States, and it's an opportunity to network and connect, and that's why we feel it's very important to be here, and that's why we're the platinum sponsors this year for CEC. It's really important that you know how to operationalize for your particular job. And so our goal is, can we support you in your initiative? Can we make sure that whether you're using our tools or some other tools, you can walk away and know how that exactly helps you in your job? And that's what we do. We have a great team of former teachers and administrators who are helping our customers and prospective customers do their jobs better and really empower all of you to excel.
The purpose, the goal of I'm Determined, in a nutshell, is to prepare students with disabilities with the tools they need to be successful after high school. We tackle this idea of self-determination through a three-pronged approach. We work with educators, we work with families, and then we work directly with the youth with disabilities. Our youth-centered work is all about providing tools, right, filling their toolbox with the essential skills they're going to need to navigate both life during K-12 schooling and life after high school. The second piece of that, though, is then providing them opportunities to use those tools, first in a safe environment with us, then they can build competence, they can build self-confidence, then they can try those strategies, things like self-advocacy, they can try it out in school, right? And if it doesn't go well, they have a supportive network to come back and problem solve. And if it does go well, great, then we all celebrate. The other piece of that are the families and the educators. And so we also provide families with tools that support their son or daughter in becoming self-determined.
The goal of I'm Determined is really about giving young people the opportunity to really express themselves. Oftentimes the students that we work with are not afforded those opportunities, and so we're all about kind of engineering and creating spaces where they can practice those skills that are associated with self-determination and then really learn in the process of doing. And that's been something that we continue to craft and continue to try to figure out as we work with the young people.
My name is Liat, and I would say that my autism is the least interesting thing about me. I love to do art. You can always find me with this sketchbook, and I also love to go backpacking and hiking. And I'm also planning to major in animal science in college, and I hope to one day be a vet or do something with biology. I'm Determined is important to me because it's given me this amazing community of people to be a part of, and it's also given me the chance to learn and practice self-advocacy and public speaking, things that I really want to work on. And it's also allowed me to have access to some really amazing resources that I've been using to help with my future, such as I use the Good Day Plan when advocating for my college accommodations. I kind of wrote out what a good day would be like to me and what tools I would need in order to be successful, and then I got my accommodations using that, so that worked out really well.
I love people. I'm a people person. I hope to go to college one day. Before I got into high school, I would say I always wanted to go to college. So I just tell myself every day, keep going till they go. And I keep telling myself, you're going to go to college one day. No matter what anybody says. Don't let people tell you that you can't do something. Show them that you can do something. If you want to do something, show them.
Hello, I'm Hugh Scarpa Friedman. I am an I'm Determined alumnus. I've been active with I'm Determined since 2015, a youth leader since 2017. I'm a Virginia Tech graduate in mechanical engineering, and I am now working as a mechanical engineer for Virginia Tech's Transport Institute, helping them with their self-driving vehicles. In the future, I hope to be self-reliant in a way that I can continue to be a positive influence towards the people around me. Self-determination will help that by helping me recognize what I'm capable of, where I can help things, or what opportunities are available for me. It'll also help me create my own opportunities in the case where one doesn't already exist. For those people that having disabilities may affect what things they are good at and what things they need help to do. It's important for the communities to get to know these people so those people can better help the communities, and so the communities can better help those people.
I'm Determined has been around for 19 years, and I think the thing that is most astounding to me is that we have people who have been a part of this for that whole time. You hear stories from Hugh, or for some of our older youth leaders who are now in jobs, raising families, being active participants in their community, and they're coming back and saying, this is what I did, this is what I learned when I was in your shoes, and this is the advice I would give you. And I think that evolution is so powerful because as educators and practitioners, we often think we can kind of speak that truth, but we're not the same as those stories that are lived. And so I just love that kind of connection and that back and forth that's really evolved over the last several years.
Good morning. We are coming to you live from Baltimore at the CEC convention here, and I am sitting with the 2025 Teacher of the Year, Michael Craig. Michael, congratulations on this award. Tell me, what does receiving the 2025 Teacher of the Year award mean to you both personally and professionally?
It's an honor, and I'm grateful for even being considered. Personally, it reinforces the fact that what I'm doing with our program in Detroit has an effect on our special needs kids. I'm hoping that some people will recognize our program and contact me so that they can replicate it in their own schools. Professionally, it means that what I've started in building a program 12 years ago, which is now the national model, is making inroads and helping our special needs young adults to find their place in life.
That is wonderful. Congratulations again. Now, Michael, can you tell us a little bit more about the program you created? So you said you started it 12 years ago. What inspired you to create this program, and just give us a little more of a description about what the program entails?
So years ago in Detroit, we were under emergency financial management. And there was one year where the district laid off every single solitary teacher, 5,700 layoffs. So during the course of the next summer, teachers were scrambling to fill spots, principals were trying to fill spots, and I received a call from the principal of Charles Drew, Robert Awardees, who wanted to discuss with me a special program that he was offering at his school. So I met with him and Betty Wiggins through the Office of School Nutrition, and they had the idea of growing fresh produce from the school for the school lunch program using special needs young adults as the workforce. So I began the program with little to no funding, and 15 years later, we have the largest farm to school program in the country in Detroit, in one of the roughest neighborhoods in America.
Wow, that is really incredible. So the Council for Exceptional Children is recognizing you for your outstanding contributions with this program and to special education. What does it mean to you to be associated with CEC? And what does it mean to receive this special award this year?
I'm grateful to the CEC for recognizing what we're doing in Detroit. And I think it's important because the CEC and being exposed through this conference and this seminar has the ability to inform people all across the country about what we're doing in Detroit so that they can find examples of how to help their special needs young adults find their way in society, whether through functional independence or full or part-time employment, which is the goal for all of us.
We're here now with Brad Duncan to talk about CEC accreditation. Brad, welcome. Can you give us an overview of the accreditation process at CEC?
Sure, and thank you. Happy to be here. So we started CEC accreditation about 3 years ago, and we wanted to create a pathway for programs to be accredited directly from the Council for Exceptional Children. Previously that didn't exist, and so we thought it would be a good opportunity to help our programs out.
That's wonderful. And can you tell us why is it important for special education programs and professionals to receive this accreditation?
Absolutely. So we wanted to make a way for programs to be accredited, and what that means is that they show that they've met a set of standards at CEC, which are really important to us, and also a set of accreditation expectations. So again, that pathway didn't exist before, so by creating this pathway, a special ed program can come directly to us and get an accreditation directly for their program, whereas they kind of fell into the whole school of education before. So it provided this opportunity to really use our standards that we have at CEC in a really unique way and really have a review and impact of that process.
That's great. Now, how does CEC's accreditation help ensure those high standards in educator preparation? And what would you say the impact is on the students with exceptionalities?
Absolutely. So we have 6 sets of professional preparation standards that our accreditation process uses, and those standards are nationally recognized We go through a very lengthy process for creating and updating those using all of our membership across the US. We do a lot of feedback, listening sessions, and make sure that we get them accurate. And so when you go through that accreditation process, you're showing how that preparation program meets those standards. And by having the accreditation and having the programs go through this process and use our standards, it really makes sure that we have effective educators in the classroom, which results in a nice education for the kids in the classroom.
What would you say are some of the biggest opportunities you see in the future for accreditation for special education programs?
Sure. Well, it is a new process for us. We've accredited one school right now. I'll give them a little shout out, Marymount University. They were our first accredited program. It really gives another marketing opportunity to programs. So a lot of programs right now are struggling with low enrollment numbers, so it really gives them another marketing tool. It will help with employment down the road when employers will see who's graduated from these accredited programs. It'll really give them a leg up in the field, and it will really make sure we're helping retention in a way as well by making sure our educators are well prepared in the classroom. It'll help ease burnout and really make sure that they're not overwhelmed and stressed out in their beginning years.
That's great. And with Marymount, can you tell us a little bit more how that has helped their program specifically?
Absolutely. So they're currently using it as a marketing tool, and they're working with us at CEC so we can create a list of accredited programs. And they have shown that they've implemented the standards, and they're really able to kind of use that as their promotional tool to really solidify their solid program there.
Okay. And lastly, what would you say are some challenges that you're facing right now with the future of accreditation? And how is the CEC adapting to those challenges?
Absolutely. So there's several challenges. A lot of our special ed programs are smaller. They have a limited faculty or maybe part-time faculty. So the accreditation is an extra report. It's an extra process. So not all programs are going to be easily ready to come in and have that kind of work. We've tried to really streamline the process and make it easier. What we're asking for in the reports, we're trying to ask for things that the program may have already put together for a regional accreditation or a state review or something like that. So we're trying to ask for things that they may already have so they don't have to recreate the wheel to kind of show us how well they're doing. We just want to take the information they have, verify it against our standards, and really try to help them out as much as we can and make it as easy as possible for them.
That's wonderful. So can schools or anybody who's visiting this conference, can they look to you and find more information about this accreditation while they're here?
Absolutely. I'll be at the CEC corner tomorrow morning and Friday morning, and I'm happy to take questions. If anybody wants to message me in the app or email me, I'm happy to find and talk to them.
That's great. So if you or your school is interested in the accreditation process, find Brad here. He will be here for the next 2 days, and you can talk about that with him. Thank you so much for your time this morning, Brad.
Thank you.
I just like the fact that it focuses on special ed students. That is my life. That's what I do every day. And everyone is not, what's the word? They just don't know a lot about our kids. So being here, you're able to learn about things that you deal with every day in the classroom.
For over 30 years, I was an administrator for teacher training. And so I had to come here so I could help the teachers in my school systems get better and better and better. Especially with finding and locating, identifying resources. These kids sometimes are as different as leaves on trees. For example, the kids that I mostly advocate for are kids that we call twice exceptional. They have gifts and talents out of the universe, but they may have a disability that we don't even recognize, or they have a very recognizable disability, but it's very difficult to address both of those. And so coming to CEC is a major resource for me to help children and their family.
I think to learn, connect, and talk with special education leaders and school district leaders from across the country, really showing our commitment to innovation and furthering our knowledge and understanding of what we do and how we can continue to incorporate those new trends and insights that we receive here this week into what we do every day in finding qualified personnel.
It's important for me to be at CEC because when I was a paraprofessional, I was looking for more resources, and CEC really was the thing that provided that for me, and it put me on a journey to just learn more and more, and this is the place to get it. I would frequently visit the exhibitor booths and connect with STAR Autism Support every year, and now the work I do with CEC and STAR is really impactful, not just to the people that I serve, but to me as well.
It's really important for me and my colleagues to be at CEC because we make hands-on learning products, and our mission is to bring learning to life through our products. So we really want to show the world that we have products that meet so many different needs and make learning fun and just a multi-sensory experience. And we also really just want to learn about special education.
The Office of Special Education here at the New Mexico Public Education Department is brand new. The office was established by our governor, Michelle Lujan Grisham, through an executive order in 2023. I came to be as the first director of the new Office of Special Education, coming in under that executive order with the priorities such as ensuring that there was cross-agency collaboration, also ensuring that we created a space for parents to be able to learn advocacy and legal rights. Also bridging the gaps between leaders in school districts and also teachers in school districts, ensuring that professional development needs were met across the state of New Mexico.
There are 4 pillars that we've established since the new creation of the Office of Special Education. One of them being data-driven decisions for equitable opportunities. Another one is creating a culturally and linguistically responsive ecosystem or education system, but also providing profile pathways and instructions, and finally, professional development. And so I know that since I've been here since January and partnering with Dr. Cage, one of the objectives, though, is to really get out throughout the state of New Mexico and letting our partners know, and our partners, our educators, our students, our superintendents, our legislative, to know who we are, what we do, and what we're doing to revitalize the special education system and to really bring about a matter of transformation.
So Parent University was derived from a vision of mine that I had when I first came here and started researching and digging into the data of the state. There was definitely a cry out for more information of how to support parents and families across the state to be able to navigate the special education spectrum with all of the changes and the IEP meetings and the advocacy points.
The format of Parent University goes between a large group as well as breakout sessions. So for the large group, we had 2 panel discussions where we brought in national speakers to really highlight best practices and offer advice to parents on how they can build a collaborative network to advocate for their students, as well as just down on the ground advice of, talk to your teachers, talk to your special education director. Here's questions to ask. Here's how to approach those conversations. Here's community organizations that can help prepare you for your IEPs. Because we know IEPs, they are a big meeting and they have a lot of information that if you are not from that background, you may not always understand what they're asking, but we want parents to feel educated. We want them to know their rights. We want them to know how to support their students. And so this is what these learning opportunities are for, is to help parents with those skills and to give them that knowledge and to give them that power back, because parents have so much power and we want them to know how to advocate for themselves and for their students.
Our son just started in public education, and he is a special needs child, so we wanted to make sure that we could best advocate for him in the system. You know, we did our first IEP 2 months ago, and we had no idea what we were getting into, you know, what legalities there were, what legal rights we had as parents, and how to fight for what was right for him. You know, so when the opportunity presented itself to come up here to Parent University, we couldn't turn it down.
Living in a small area, everything's like limited, and coming here, you're like, oh, I'm not alone. I'm not the only one here. When Dr. Cage was opening up, I literally got tears in my eyes because I said, I'm not alone. I am not alone. Our struggles that we endure with our kids, we're not alone. There's other parents like us. So I appreciate this opportunity to network and meet other people, and we can support each other in this journey.
I think one key takeaway is that there are all kinds of resources that are out there for parents, and that by finding out what those resources are and taking advantage of those resources, parents are able to equip themselves to advocate for their children. So knowing those resources is a really critical first step.
What has worked really well is the bringing together of resources and the bringing together of the strength of the state of New Mexico and the strength of this Dr. Cage and her team and the strength of parents, because I think for a lot of parents, they're like, am I alone in this? And us here at the Office of Special Education want you to know you're not alone in this. When you enter into the disability community, you enter into a wealth of strength and a wealth of advocacy. And so I'm really excited to see the culture of what Parent University has to offer and what our state has to offer our parents and our students.
The best piece of advice to remember is that in stress management, it's important for you to know these three things. Know, assess, reduce your stress. You have to first know what you're dealing with, then you need to assess the level at which you're responding to it, then you can pick the right coping method for yourself.
I am giving advice to all teachers who are here at the CEC convention. It's just so important for us as teachers to learn as much as we can about the science of reading and structured literacy for all of our students. Reading's an equity issue, and all of us here at the conference are really passionate about what we do for students, and we want all teachers to provide as much as we can with the right tools and the right materials in our classrooms. At Wilson Language Training, we are really passionate about ensuring that teachers have the right tools and are trained to provide them with the best success for our students. So I hope that everybody here has a wonderful conference, and I know that you are all the change makers that will make reading and education happen with equity for all of our students, regardless of the level, their background, or where they go to school. Have a wonderful conference.